Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Factorio with LD7, and today we're just going to be showing you kind of what I decided to do over off on the side here. So I went ahead and built a basically blue circuits, batteries, like just a secondary factory to get me some of the excess or auxiliary stuff. So I've got modules, speed and productivity modules being built up here, being buffered. I've got blue circuits being buffered. I've got batteries being buffered, and I've got a bunch of shit being made. So basically the way this works, I've got refineries down here with their own source of oil, just on basic refining to make the petroleum that I need for plastic to make red circuits, and to make sulfur dioxide, or sulfuric acid rather. I've got 4 factories making batteries to store up. That way we can potentially make the better accumulators, because they all take... Well, accumulators take batteries, these ones take the accumulators, so we need to have a lot of batteries at our disposal. Outside of that, we've got a fair amount of resources being gathered up around here. So we've got... Well, this one's not connected to power. Wouldn't you know? Okay, so now everything should be on power. So I've got iron going on up here. I've got... steel up above that. I've got plastic going in, so I've got green circuits being built right here which feed into a red circuits, which red and green go in to make these prod modules. They also go in to make these blue circuits with sulfuric acid, which is being piped up straight from here. So we've got a decent little setup right here. I do want to expand the green circuits because we do need more green circuits than what we're currently making. So kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to buffer this steel, in all honesty. Like, I don't actually need it. I can't really tell if this is in Roboport range. It looks like it is not, so that's fine. We'll throw down another Roboport. Not too big of a deal. So we'll just place one right there and hook it up to power so it's happy. I'm just going to throw a stack inserter on this real quick so it can start buffering some steel for us, just so we've got a bunch of it. So I've got an iron line right here that I can use to make another green circuit factory. My only concern is that this area right above where I've got the first one isn't going to be big enough. But let's kind of see. So the tool I used was this copy control. So basically you can go through and select a bunch of shit like this. We're not going to pick up that one. I'm going to have to add in an inserter, that's fine. And we can kind of do something like this. That Roboport is in the way, so I'm going to have to move that. Just fine. But otherwise that should work. So let me move this Roboport. And we're just going to throw it up a little bit farther so it's out of the way. I'm going to put all these robots that I picked up back inside because I don't need them in my inventory. There we go, cool. And we're going to go ahead and use that blueprint. It's not really, well, it is a blueprint, but not really. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But then I can connect this line directly onto the one that we're using already, so that would be good. So I think if I place it like this, I just need to throw copper into the belts and it should run just fine. So let's go ahead and place the blueprint and see if we can't finagle this with some spaghetti and kind of go from there. So first things first, this is going to need to be an underground track almost certainly, so I've got a little bit of working room. So something like that might work a little bit better for the iron that's going in. I do have copper that's coming in right here as well. So it'd be great to kind of just pull some of these off. This belt is a little bit close, though. So how can I do this? I'm not 100% sure, in all honesty. So maybe, like, I could try pulling off... Well, that won't work either, because there's not enough space to make it turn. But I need to get copper up there, is basically what needs to happen. So what I could do is actually change the direction of these. Kind of like this. And we'll just redo the splitters. And the splitters are just there to kind of help make sure everything has copper to make the cables more than anything else, so it's not too big of a deal. We just want to make sure everything is able to kind of do its thing. So let's do this. We won't have this center belt in this half anymore, but I think we'll split it right here maybe, so we can have all three kind of flow in. And honestly, I guess I don't even need this third belt. Fuck it, we'll just break this. We'll just have it flow in through the two. And then I can bring it up around this direction, which might be a little bit easier to finagle. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this underground. So that gives me one spot. I really need some cliff explosives. Okay, that's kind of a pain in the ass, but let's see if we can do this. So I want to hook this up because then we'll be able to double the green circuits that we're getting, which would be good because we need them, more or less. So, that's just barely off. Okay, so maybe if we turn it one spot sooner, maybe it'll work the way it's supposed to. So, like that. Okay, so there is one belt. Cool. We will go ahead and put him in the top. Then the second belt, we can kind of just run through this little opening that we've got right here. And I think this will work a little bit better. Like, I don't actually know the ratios. Unfortunately, this template that I'm kind of following is based off of using steel furnaces as opposed to electric furnaces for the copper production. So, like, I don't know how many my electric furnaces can actually support, in all honesty, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and give this a try instead. These splitters right here make sure that this belt feeds the other two. So those are going, that's good. And then basically all we got to do is put the iron in, which should be relatively easy as well. I'm going to split it back here, I think, so I can take one in right there. Then we just bring the second one down. And that one goes in right there. And that should add some more green circuits to our belts. I think that'll work pretty good. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% efficient. Like, in all honesty, I don't even realistically need these green circuits. I just felt like kind of playing around and seeing if I could improve some production and get us some circuits buffered. So I think what I'm gonna do, because that one, those are both going onto the same belt now, so that is good. That's kind of what we want, more or less. I can actually split this now, so I'm just trying to figure out what's going to be the best way, because this technically has two lines going to it, so maybe I'll feed that one directly in on its own, like this, and then I still need green circuits going in here, but maybe what we'll do is we'll bring, and I need green circuits down there. Okay, so we need to do this, so they go in both places, and just for the time being we'll connect that so at least it's running. So these need to come down that way is basically what needs to happen. I'm just seeing, okay, good, I can reach, good. Use some undergrounds, bring it up. And yeah, I know this is kind of backwards as far as how the belts are laid out, because this one's closer to the prod modules than this one, but that's alright, we'll kind of make do. So if I bring it down like this, I can run an underground belt right there and have it connect like that, so we get a full belt of greens right there as well. And it is being split, which maybe isn't the best. Like, I could throw another splitter like right there to kind of balance a little bit. So if I do that, then these circuits can go to whichever one needs it. And realistically, these bottom two belts are going to need it more than this top belt, just because these two belts make red and blue circuits, which just take a shit ton of fucking green circuits. So I think that works a little bit better. It appears that the copper is coping fairly well. Like, we've got more than enough copper still, so that is good. I wish I had something to use the steel on, but I don't, so I guess that's okay too. So I've got 500 blue circuits now, which feels pretty good. The rest of this stuff, I mean, we're doing okay. Like, this is more or less just a fun factory. Like, we don't actually need to do this necessarily. Having these blues and the productivity and speed modules up here is useful because they are in passive provider chests. So since all of this is connected by roboports, what I can do is run back over to my main base now, which is over here, and I can basically pull anything that we just hooked up to that factory and use it to build utilizing these guys, requester chests. So that feels pretty good, in all honesty. So these are still building the accumulators. That's fine. Are we low on power? How are we low on power? Oh, fuck. Okay. We're going to have to build more of these is kind of what it's looking like. Okay. Well, that's fine. I guess we can do that. We should, we have a fuck ton of those, like 1.9k. Should be enough to be able to, plonk some more down. I try to keep this pretty well ratioed, meaning that I try to make sure that I've got enough batteries to kind of make it through the night, more or less, because that's the only real downside with using solar power, is that at nighttime you end up losing your solar production to your power, so you have to be able to make it through the night, more or less. We'll go ahead and just fill in this area with some more accumulators. This all should connect, I think. I'll flip this one around, but that'll definitely connect because I'm pretty sure that all of these will connect too. It'll just take the robots a little bit of time to build everything, of course, but that's okay as well. Come on. Right there. Okay. And we'll just place these down. Like, I probably don't even need this many batteries, in all honesty. Like, that's probably way more batteries than we're going to need, but I want to make sure that we are covering our power production through the night, so when it gets dark, we are able to make it through without running out of power, because I don't want to run out of power. It also might make sense to try to upgrade some of these to the tier 2s, because if we look at the production, so like these will store 3 or 5 megajoules worth of power, whereas these will store 10 megajoules. So like literally I can double the amount of each of those batteries will store by going up one level. If I go up 2, it doubles the double, so 4 times as much. Same thing with the solar panels. If I start making tier 3s, it will double what I'm making off of these green blueprints, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that, in all honesty. Okay, so the robots are doing their thing. Those are getting connected. That's great. We already have 12 gigajoules worth of storage, so that's awesome. This kind of stuff, it is starting to become nighttime, though, is the only thing I'm kind of concerned about, but that's okay. I think we'll be okay, like, whatever. I guess I could blueprint a couple more solar panel arrays as well. Doesn't hurt anything necessarily. I don't want to get too close to those biters, otherwise they'll come and destroy my shit, which I don't want to deal with. So we'll place him there. Those probably won't be able to be destroyed because I don't think I have cliff explosives being built automatically. But that's alright, whatever. We got that set up, that should be fine. Like, our power should be fine. I mean, during the day we produce almost 800 megawatts worth of power, and then these batteries do hold just an absolute shit ton of power, so can put one more there. And I mean, honestly, I think that's got to be enough battery power. Like, if it's not, I honestly don't even know how they expect you to use solar panels at all in the game, but that's okay, whatever. We'll connect this up so it's a part of the network. But I mean, we've got 13.4 gigajoules worth of power storage now, and that's not even with all these batteries built yet. So we should be fine. I'll leave it. Like, it doesn't appear that anything's really getting hurt. I've been doing more research. Like, basically we've got everything. If we come in here, I'm doing the laser turret shooting speed just to make my defenses a little bit better. I can't quite do rocket silos. I need to get prod 3s and speed 3s in order to do that. I'm kind of waiting, more or less, just because. But we have rocket fuel being built. I need to set up a good low density structure factory because it takes those as well. and then these rocket control units take the blue circuits and the speed modules. So I could actually build an RCU factory utilizing the requester chest relatively easily. I kind of want to decide where I want to put my silo down first, though. So I've got concrete right here, which is good. So I can come in and pick up the 1,000 concrete that you need pretty easily because it's already built. So if I put it like right here, as far as the silo goes, I mean, that's a decent spot because I can, you know, the concrete's right there, which you don't actually have to feed that to the silo, but you need it to build it. Really, I need RCUs, low density structures, and then rocket fuel are the 3 items. So rocket fuel is down over by our oil refinery. So I guess we could maybe put the silo down there. Might make more sense since I already have that part of it built. I did expand it a little bit. So apparently the ratio for rocket fuel is you can have 2 rocket fuel factories for every 2 solid fuel factories that you're using, apparently. So that's kind of what we got. So, okay, we are kind of having some struggles at night, but that's because everything's running off of our steam engines. So once it becomes day, that should bounce back. Like this says we need 276. That's just because there's a bunch of robots that need power, is my guess. And these accumulators need to be charged, but that's fine. We'll wait. It should be turning to day relatively quickly. Oh, oops. I messed up this belt, which kind of sucks because we weren't buffering. But we've got a full chest of rocket fuel, so this should be enough, I think, to launch the rocket. So actually, that is in a passive provider chest too. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna double up the passives on this real quick, just because then we can have even more. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot for the rocket silo, and I'm going to try to use robots to fill up everything it needs to be built. So that gives us a little bit more freedom. Then we can build the low density structures and the rocket control units wherever we want, as opposed to being kind of like tied to how close we want to be to the rocket. So processors and speed modules, I guess let's build that factory right up here. Might as well, like I've got a nice open space right here, so 6, 7, let's just make it a clean 8. The only issue with that is a stone brick. God damn it. Okay, fine. We'll just do 7. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do another 7. So 14 rocket control unit factories. That should be enough. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's not. But hopefully it is. To build these. And I mean, I guess it also depends on how long we want to, you know, wait for this to buffer. Like, obviously, if we built more factories, we could build all the parts quicker. But, you know, in all honesty, I'm not too worried about it. I'm kind of having more fun with this playthrough. It's not a speed run by any means, so no worries. Okay, now we got to decide how we want to input this stuff. So it does need 2 items, so we'll split the belt like that. And I guess we could just run it in like a circle, maybe? That might work pretty good. And then we can have the RCUs just be fed into a chest at the end. And that could work pretty good. So let's do that. And then we also will be able to tell if we don't have enough of something. Like, we should be fine. I'm pretty sure we've got enough processor units, and we probably have enough speed modules as well. You know, like we have a lot of speed modules in that chest over there, so I'm gonna just tell this bring over 200 maybe, and this one do speed modules. We'll tell it to bring over 200 as well. Sure, why not? Make the bots work a little bit. Like, that is a long ass journey for them, to be fair, but that's all right. Like, I've got a lot of robots because we've been building them pretty much, you know, for 4 or 5 hours ish of gameplay, so it's not like I'm short on robots or something. I'll put a stack inserter with a passive provider right here, and whoops, Didn't mean to build a filter inserter. Stack inserter. Cool. And let's go ahead and set this to rocket control units. If you hold shift and right click, it'll copy the contents of a factory. And then if you hold shift and left click, it'll paste it. So there we go. We've got that. The speed and the processing units are coming in. So those will go around the belt and slowly fill these up and make our rocket stuff. I guess I could... whoops, not what I wanted to do. I forget how you put in these faster. Like, do you... oh, maybe you hold Z? Just to increase it a little bit, we can put prod modules in there. That way we get a little bit extra out of the production, right? So we won't need quite as many of either of these. But that should work pretty good. Like, this is doing its deal. I'm not too worried about it. Like, whatever. I guess the only downside with this is they're all on the same side. I guess if I throw a splitter in right here, then they'll be on both, so it can fit more. That'll work a little bit better. Let's do that. Okay, cool. So we are starting to build these. We've got 6. I forget how many you need. It's a few hundred at least, so that's fine. Copper, steel, and plastic. I don't think I have plastic buffered anywhere. So let me run down to our refinery and maybe buffer some plastic so we can have that be delivered. Just to make it easier on ourselves. Like, it's not difficult necessarily to, you know, build the factory where it needs to be and all that and whatever and not use robots, but since we've got the robots, it's kind of like, might as well use them, right? So I need petroleum, which is connected right here, and I need coal, which there is some coal here. There's probably enough to put down a few. So let's just make like 6 plastic factories, I guess. And we'll bridge this across. Maybe to like there. I don't know how wide that needs to be. That's a little far, but that's okay. And then we'll just kind of run these like this. And we'll use long arms on the back end to output. And that should work pretty good. We'll put that inside of a passive chest. And then we'll do the same thing with... I think I've got a passive chest of copper somewhere. I could definitely make another one, I guess, but should be fine. Like, and I've got that steel chest. Yeah, we're fine. We don't need any passives for like the regular resources, so we should be okay. Let's do it like this so I can put the pipe in a little bit easier. We'll run this like so. Cool. And then set these to plastic and paste them in. Cool. Alright, so there's plastic. We do need to put the outputs, I guess, so there's a fucking tree in the way, of course. Move this back one. Move all these back one, actually. So they're not in the way of the output belt. Then I can kind of do this type of stuffs. I mean, we could take a look at doing nuclear power as well. That is something we could do to kind of avoid the slowdown at night, but I'm honestly not too worried about it. Like, we're going fast enough as it is, so why rush? Let's do that. I want a stack inserter, and we are going to need a roboport over here, so I guess we'll just place him here. Sure, why not? Then the robots are literally right next to the chest we want them to take from. So there we go. Okay, cool. That's doing its thing. We'll let that run. We've got steel inside of some of our robots already, so I can build the low-density structures, I think, now, using robots. Because we got plastic, copper, and steel, so adding that steel, or that plastic, rather, should have fixed any issues we would have had with it. So I am just going to add in a second copper chest, just to be safe, which means I need another fucking roboport. Okay, fine. There we go. And I'm not, we'll maybe buffer it like that much. Just to be safe so it doesn't starve this factory. I don't even know really what this is. Oh, that's our robot factory, so yeah, we don't want to starve that really. But okay, cool. So that's good. We'll go ahead and queue up another research just for funsies. We'll do... I could do speed or cargoes. I think we'll do speed. It's probably more important than the size. Like, they already carry a decent amount of stuff. It's more about, you know, how fast it, or how long it takes them to fly from our factory way over yonder to here. So they are missing 7 cliff explosives. I could make some more. I forget what explosives take. It's not a lot of stuff. You have to build them in the chem plant, though. So sulfur, water, and coal. Do I have a little bit of coal. I don't have enough to make them. Fuck it. I don't care. It's fine. They can just be upset about that. Alright, so I think what we'll do, we're going to call it here for today. And then next time we're going to set up the low density structure factory. And then after that, we're going to kind of just beeline for the rocket silo research and kind of get everything finished up. If you enjoyed the episode today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. And until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.